In this video, I'm going to discuss human limitations, aging gracefully, and finding the balance between achievement and accepting limitations. Human life is really about limitation. It's very difficult to deny that human life is about limitation. We have to sleep every night. We only live 80 good years. We could possibly live a little longer, but 80 good years. And in order to be content, we have to accept these limitations. But to accept these limitations too early in life, we may end up in poverty. So we have to overcome a certain amount of limitation in order to find some success in life and a certain level of comfort, particularly the limitations that we're born with, the limitations of our conditioning, the limitations that are laid upon us by society and our parents. Then the limitations of having enough money. We have to go out there and get it going, create a career for ourselves, become educated, to do the things that it takes to fall in love and find some level of, well, maybe not love, but hopefully some romance in your life or something that makes you feel less lonely, because loneliness is a type of limitation as well. And to overcome these limitations is super necessary to find contentment. Paradoxically, once we find this level of existence and we've overcome a certain amount of limitations, it's really important to let go, to let go of the idea that we have to have more and more achievement. To overcome to go beyond our limitations is the way to find some achievement in our life. But hanging on to that achievement too long in life will lead to a certain amount of frustration. We see this a lot in people, particularly in men. As they get older, they'll continue to want to make money. Even though they don't need any more money, they keep striving for more money. Or perhaps a woman will hang on to her looks, right? You start to age and you go for plastic surgery. And not that these things are bad, but aging is a limitation, and accepting our limitations will lead to contentment. Overcoming our limitations leads to achievement, and we need to find a balance between achievement and acceptance. So we don't want to accept all of our limitations and live in poverty, and well, perhaps you do, but it's kind of hard to find happiness and lasting happiness without a certain level of achievement. But too much achievement is certainly going to make us unhappy, and clinging to our achievement is certainly a problem, in that then it just becomes a big competition of trying to achieve more and more and more of things that we don't really need. So we need a vision that's reasonable, a reasonable vision that will lead us to a certain amount of contentment and a certain level of achievement. Now, I understand there's different types of people, and some people, their only goal in life is more and more achievement, and I certainly can't knock that if that's what makes you happy and you feel like you find a level of contentment with your achievement. There's nothing wrong with that. However, I think it's really easy to confuse achievement with creativity, because creativity, you can't get enough of creativity. Creativity will always bring a certain amount of satisfaction with life. However, if you feel like you're, let's say, money making or striving forward in your career, that this is what your creativity is, you will probably find a plateau with that, and then beyond that is going to bring you a lot of frustrations, because eventually you get older. And as we get older, the time will overcome your achievements. We can only achieve so much in life, and clinging to our achievements, clinging to our worldly ambition will certainly bring increasing amounts of frustration. And you can see this in people when they're no longer capable of achieving the achievements no longer capable of acquiring the achievements of their youth. They'll give up on life, and they'll become overcome with bitterness. And this is not good. I'm speaking of aging gracefully. And in order to age gracefully, first of all, we had to have been a certain level of success when we're young. So if you're a young person, of course, we need to overcome our limitations. But this is a yin-yang balance thing. As we get older, we need to let go of our achievements and embrace our limitations to an extent. Embrace the limitations of the body, because they're going to increase. Now, I'm not saying, give up and just live in a wheelchair. However, if we have to accept that we have to slow down a little. And slowing down and finding our boundaries within our limitations, we can find a certain amount of peace with life. We certainly cannot spend all of our days battling time, battling our limitations. At some point, we have to give in. And this, I feel, is what aging gracefully is having that background and that bank of achievement. That's good. You've done that. Now start to embrace who you are. Your achievements can become more internal and more creative in the sense that they're just about you. Because as you get older, you start to move towards this place where it's just you. That all the things around you, they just don't satisfy like they used to. All the sense pleasure starts to fade. We need to, or hopefully we can find some sort of trajectory inward, and then we can overcome limitations in a much grander scale. Start to think more in terms of cosmic awareness, universal consciousness that is beyond the body, because the body will fade. And as the body fades, we can find a way to feel good about our limitations, then peace will come. Otherwise, we end up kicking and screaming as we get older in life, and that's no way to age gracefully. Find a reasonable vision for yourself. The limitations that the body and your surroundings lay upon you, just accept them as they come in a way that makes sense to you. Now, I'm not saying to give up. However, don't continue to bang your head against the wall that you think is obtainable, but it's actually youth. We cannot go backwards. We must continue to move forward. And as the body starts to fade, we will move into being more who we are, spirit, more energy. Get in touch with the energy within us. We can get in touch with this energy by condensing our awareness inward. As we age, we can become more inward and more powerful in an inward way, in an awareness way, in a self-awareness of who you are beyond just the body.